family, this is Ashley B. Welcome back to my channel, Healing for Destiny. I am diving right back into this series. This series that God has me doing is all about the co-parenting with God's help. It's all about what it takes for you to be able to heal and get over your child's father, you know, letting go of all that resentment, that hurt, that bitterness, just that anger, all these things that you have been consumed with in trying to co-parent with your child's father and trying to move on with your life, the things that you're still battling. That's all the stuff that we're talking about in this series, and I'm gonna dive right in. Today's topic, this subject today, we're talking about the boundaries, y'all. Setting those boundaries in your life, setting those boundaries in your relationship with your child's father. Boundaries are so important. They are so essential. And the thing about boundaries, when you begin to start setting these boundaries, now mind you, these boundaries, this is going to look different for everybody. Anybody that's watching this video, your boundaries may not be the same boundaries that I have had to set in my life, that I have had to set in my situation and my co-parenting with my son's father. Because I know, like, for example, a boundary that you might need to start, this wasn't my situation, but a boundary that you might need to start setting in your life when it comes to your child's father is to stop sleeping with them. It's to stop dealing with them. It's to cut off that connection with them in that way if you're truly trying to heal and truly trying to move on with your life. And so this is what I mean about why everybody's boundaries may be differently. And so I definitely challenge you and ask you, when you come off this video, to really take a piece of paper, to really sit down and really start thinking about these boundaries that you have to set in your life, not only with your child's father, but just in your life in general, like in trying to grow and trying to heal and trying to transform as a woman. Like, boundaries is very important. The thing about boundaries when it comes to your child's father, and really just people in general, a lot of this stuff is just life lessons, but people are not gonna like boundaries. They are not going to. When you start really setting these standards and these boundaries in your life, people are not going to like it. People are not going to respect it. But guess what? Oh, well, they have to. Because, you know, sometimes people are so used to the old you, or if you used to do things a certain type of way, or you used to let certain things slide, or people could feel like or have felt like they can just walk all over you, they can do what they want to do, and then you really start setting these boundaries, you really start establishing this respect, like, no, this is what it is, you're gonna have to respect this, this is what it's gonna be, this is how we gonna deal with each other, this is how we gonna co-parent together with the child, this is how I'm dealing with you. People are not gonna like that. And the number one thing that, you know, like, your child's father might look at when you start setting those boundaries, what they might start looking at it as if like, oh, you just doing that because you mad, or you hurt, or you bitter. And, you know, it's like, they don't want to take that. They don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept you putting your foot down. They don't want to accept you, you know, respecting yourself and setting these standards in your life. They're not gonna like that. But like I said, they gotta get with it. They gotta get with it. You are the mother, and you cannot worry about that. You cannot worry about how your child's father are going to perceive these boundaries in your life. You cannot worry about their feelings, how it's going to make them feel. You are the mother. You are the mother. For a lot of you that's watching this video, especially as a single mother, you are like 100% the provider. You are the sole provider. You are doing everything for your child. You're taking on a lot of the responsibility. Like, that's what we do as mothers, and that's nothing to say towards the father of what they're doing, but as the mother, as the child living with you, as you being the sole provider, as you being the one that's taking care of the kid, that's taking care of more of the responsibility, you have a right to set those boundaries in your life. You have a right to say that this is what it is and this is what it's not. And so, especially when you're in this place of trying to get over the hurt from your child's father, and, you know, trying to overcome these obstacles, trying to co-parent in a healthy way, you got to do what you got to do for you. You got to do what you got to do for your own peace, for your own sanity, you know, to be able to push the relationship and the co-parenting in a healthy space for the future. You got to do what's best for you. You got to put your foot down. You got to demand that respect. You got to set those boundaries. It's very important, and it's very key, especially when it comes to your healing. transparent example. I'm gonna give an example of like myself when I had to really start setting these boundaries, and how it helped me to start healing, and you know, to start this healthy co-parenting with my son's father. I had to do that, and he did not like it. We bumped heads a lot. We fell out a lot because I started setting these boundaries in my life. He didn't like it. He didn't respect it. And you know, for him, he would really attack me a lot, because I feel like in his mind he was feeling like, you just doing this to try to spite me, or you just doing this to try to, you know, because you mad, because you hurt. And that wasn't the case at all. Like, I had to do what I had to do for me, you know, because starting off in my co-parentship, my son's father was very irresponsible. He was very inconsistent. He would do things the way however he wanted to do it. He would say that he was going to do this, don't do it. He would say he was going to show up, don't show up. I would stop what I'm doing in my life to accommodate him. I was accommodating him so much because I'm trying to do what's right as a mother, and I'm trying to allow him that access, but he wasn't respecting me as a mother. He wasn't respecting, you know, how I'm trying to accommodate him and what I'm trying to do to set the standards in our co-parentship. So I had to start setting boundaries. And I remember, like, I'm gonna just give this quick example. I remember, like I said, these boundaries is gonna look different for everybody. But I remember, like, when my son was first born, he was still kind of like newborn. I want to say maybe like, I think at that time he was like 2 months. And I remember one day, my child's father, he just popped up at my house one day. Like, didn't call, didn't text. He just popped up knocking on my door. And I remember right then and there, you know, I let him in the house and everything, but I remember right then and there, like, I had to nip that in the bud. Like, we're not doing this. That's not the type of relationship that we have. That's not the type of co-parentship that we have. We need to establish this now. I need you to know that I'm not okay with you just popping up at my house, that I'm not okay with you just showing up at my house. Like, no. And I never had any other problems since then, but it's little things like that. It's little things like that. You know what you can handle, or you know the type of relationship that you're trying to set with them, and you have to be clear about it. You have to be clear about it. In order for you to be able to get respect, you have to give respect as well too. But you have to be clear about these boundaries, clear about these standards in your life, what you're going for, what you're not going for, and you have to stick to it. Stick to it, stand to it. It might cause a little rift in the beginning stages when you set these boundaries. And this is like if you just started to set boundaries. You might have already started setting them, so you kind of know how this goes, but you have to just continue sticking to that, continue sticking to these standards, continue standing tall, standing down on these boundaries, and don't let up off of it. Don't let up off of it, because this is your life. You are the mother. You know, you deserve to be respected. You deserve for people to respect you as a mother, who you are as a mother, and not to be walking all over you, or not for people to be thinking that they can do whatever they want, because they can't. Period. They can't. It's the thing about, you know, me being on the other side now, having gone through what I've gone through and have healed and everything. This is something else, though, that we have to be real with ourselves about when we are setting boundaries and setting these standards in our life. When you are setting these boundaries, you have to make sure that you are not setting these boundaries from a place of hurt. You have to be very realistic when you're setting boundaries in your life, because it is easy to be saying, okay, I'm setting these boundaries and this is what it is, but you're doing it from a place of bitterness, or you're doing it from a place of hurt. And you have to, like, watch yourself when it comes to that. You have to really watch yourself when you come to that, because it's not because when you go that route, it's not that you setting boundaries, it's that you just you hurt, and you trying to control the situation. You're trying to control your child's father. You're trying to control the outcome. You know what I mean? But I do want to say this, though, especially when you in the early stages of co-parenting and you still going through that hurt, or even now if you're going through that hurt, I do want to say this, though. It is okay. Like I said, it's about your peace. It's about your healing. It is okay for you to feel like you want to set it the way you need to set it in order for you to be able to heal, in order for you to be okay. You know what I mean? And I have to stress this because I don't want, mothers, single mothers and mothers that are dealing with this to feel like you have to be best friends with your child's father. You have to be all, like this with them in order to keep peace, in order, like I want you to think of that as, if that's what you desire in your relationship with your child's father, that's great. And maybe eventually you will get there. And for some people, it probably will never be that. For example, if you choose to treat the co-parentship or to deal with your child's father as like it's a business deal, it's a business encounter, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And when I say that, meaning like maybe it may not be friendly. Maybe y'all are not the best of friends. Maybe there is, still a little hurt and anger that's there. And you got to do what you got to do for you. Keeping it strictly business means we don't have nothing to talk about. We don't talk about anything else. Only thing that we need to talk about is you downstairs to pick up the child or you dropping them off. Or, if that's what you choose to have, then be okay with that. Don't let anybody tell you that that's wrong or it shouldn't be like that. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, the goal is for it to just be a good and healthy line of communication and co-parenting. But again, the reality is that's not going to be everybody's situation. For some people, like me and my child's father, it started off like that. Me and him are in a much better space, and we're actually friends now, so we co-parent a lot differently than we did when we started. But for some people, it might always be like that. It might always be that it's that it looks like that, and that's okay if it does. That's okay. Like, don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you gotta act no certain type of way or you gotta be a certain type of way to try to make the co-parentship work or anything. No, you just set those boundaries in your life. You be at peace with yourself, be at peace with them. That's what the Bible says. When you're dealing with difficult people, when you're dealing with difficult situations, this is what God tells us. No matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you're going through, do your best to be at peace with people. All you can do is what you can do on your end. You cannot, you can't control how other people do things. You can't control how other people act. You can't control if other people are going to be difficult, but you can do what you can do on your end to be at peace. And with that comes setting the tone. Setting the tone. Something that I realized about, when it comes to dealing with your child's father in this, in this area, I've learned this from my experience. I've also learned this from, listening to older women, people like my mom and aunts, and just those older women that have gone through this situation with co-parenting and being a single mother. One thing that I have noticed and I've learned is that we as mothers, we are really the ones that set the tone for these relationships. We are. Because see, the thing about men and fathers, this is what you have to realize. For a lot of these, our child's fathers that we go through so much drama with and we've dealt with all this stuff, at the end of the day, that even if they don't say it, even if they don't give you your props, a lot of them, they see who you are as a mother. They see the things that you are doing for the child. Like, they see you making things happen. They see you being this outstanding mom, this provider to the child. They may not, like I said, they may not give you your props. They might not ever speak on it, but they see it. And for the most part, they see that you're a good woman. They see that you're a good mom. And a lot of the times, when you're dealing with this drama, when you're dealing with this going back and forth with your child's father, it's up to us to set that standard. It's up to us to keep that peace. It's up to us to keep that respect, because I've noticed this, y'all. I've noticed, like, for men, a lot of them, they gonna match your energy. They gonna match your energy. You being all mean and nasty and bitter, that's not gonna make them want to come around and help and support. That's gonna push them away or pull them away. You acting like this, they gonna act like that back. You got something to say about everything that they doing as a parent, now they gonna try to find something to say about everything that you doing as a parent. So you just have to do your best to be at peace. Set those standards, set those boundaries, set that tone of, you know, healthy communication, a healthy relationship, you know, be the leader. I know it's easy to want nothing to do with your child's father, to want to, you know, be mean and nasty to them, to not want to consider them, to not want to, you know, give them anything. It's so easy. Focus on the bigger picture. Focus on, you know, just doing what's right as a mother, setting that standard, setting that tone. Be the leader. Be the leader. Be the mother, this great mother that God created you to be, the woman that God created you to be, what he is trying to pull up out of you, the healing that he's trying to do within you, the transformation that he's trying to do within you, not only as a person, but as a mother, as a future wife, as all these great things of who he's trying to get you to discover, what he's trying to get you to find out about yourself, to know who you are, know who he created you to be. And you just have to focus on those things when it comes to dealing with this, when it comes to overcoming this. So I hope that this helped. I hope that this encourages you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you check out all the other videos from this series. There's a playlist for it. You can go to my videos and find the playlist so you can watch all these videos, watch them all in order. Go back and watch them however many times you have to, because this is all for you, to help you, to give you these tips, these tools, whatever you need to start pushing forward, to start moving forward, to start going through this healing process, to be able to co-parent with God's help, to be able to overcome and get past this hurt that you have gone through with your child's father. So I love you guys. I will see you in the next video.